And our thanks to Darren Fletcher and to Owen Hargreaves on their last commentary of this World Cup. And way to go out, chaps. Absolute madness. A tennis score. Third place games are not supposed to be like that. I suppose, though, Alexi Lalas, Peter Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel. Kasper, in a third place game, you get nothing sometimes? Or maybe you get everything.
And we certainly got everything. It had absolutely everything. It's probably the best game of the tournament. I mean, I think if I look back, the last one was Morocco, Croatia. That was a very good game as well. So I think these games, they've got something to say for themselves. And, you know, this guy here, Kylian Mbappe, he's leading the race now. So, yeah, there's certainly something, some meaning about it.
Peter, what did you make of it?
Oh, well, this man here, what a great service he's done to world football. As a football player, I played against him many times, but also as a coach. He's won everything. He's lining his last team up today, and for 45 minutes they seriously embarrassed him. What he did at halftime was he just showed everybody how good a manager he is. He made 4 big changes, took some big names off. He took the Turkey off, who's been moaning all tournament. He's not had playing time. He got his 45 minutes, didn't play well, came off. And then what France did, the team in the second half, they did the exact opposite to him. And I'm so happy for him. Even though they lost the game, I'm just happy that his team rewarded him with that second half.
Alexi, the highest scoring World Cup match since 1982. What did you make?
Well, if you are one of those that looks at a third place game in a World Cup and thinks that it's worthwhile and that it matters to the players, to the coaches, and to the fans, and that the players care and that they're taking it seriously, then you just witnessed one of the greatest World Cup games in history. If, however, you are one of those, and there's plenty of them out there, and certainly over the last couple of days it's been debated, where you think that the third place game is a useless exercise and the players don't care and there's no stakes and it's unnecessary, then I suppose you look at this as one of the greatest farces in the World Cup history. I thought this was awesome. I thought this was... There's so many things to talk about when it comes to these two great teams that have made this World Cup great in different ways, individually and collectively as teams. I think it's almost a fitting ending for both of these teams, something to be taken by everybody, including the fans here. But, you know, that man right there, when it comes to goals, he's a competitor, though. He wants to win. To your point, that man right there, a legend with what he has done. This doesn't change anything when it comes to this score line. He and his team provided us incredible moments throughout this tournament and multiple tournaments. And your England squad, you know, that's the way to end it. I don't know what the narrative is going to be relative to Thomas Tuchel and ultimately how this team is viewed through this tournament. But this was something pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back to, we've had 10 goals today. Another legendary manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, his last ever game, I think, was 5-5.
5-5, that's
so
right.
I think it must be one of those things when a legendary manager goes out, they go out with an incredible game. So, I mean, I say salvage some pride in the second half. I know they lost the game. And to Lexi's point there, if you think people don't care, look at Kylian Mbappe's face. Look at his face. He is furious. And that just shows everything. He cares a lot.
What a game, the penultimate match of the world, sponsored by Michelob Ultra. Bukayo Saka was an unused sub in the semi-final defeat to Argentina, but he made the most of the opportunity today, becoming the 4th England player with a World Cup hat-trick. He joins Sir Geoff Hurst, Gary Lineker and Harry Kane on that list. And what a list it is, as we welcome you back to our set here just next to the Brooklyn Bridge by the East River in New York. Lovely to have your company. Alexi Lalas, Peter Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel, Rebecca Lowe. Have we got a highlight for you? Take a breath, everybody. Buckle up. We've never had a longer one. Go.
All right, epic highlight. And we're going to start off here. Declan Rice, a couple minutes in, says, all right, we're going to announce that this is going to be a game unlike any game that you have seen. Scores from distance, and England like that, off to the races. All right, you want some more? All right, how about some set pieces? Konza goes up high, boom, right in the far corner. England's running away with it. 2-0. You want more? I got more for you. 37th minute. Saka, who we'll talk a whole lot about, from one end of the other. Look at this. All right, you win the ball, and off to the races. Saka just plays it in. But there's still a whole lot that has to happen here. Breakaway, save, regroup, shot from Saka. He's on his, you know what? He says, all right, well, the play's not over. I'm going to get back up and, oh, look what I found. There you go. For 2. Yeah, that's 2 goals for you, my friend. All right, you want more? I got more for you. Wonderful little ball into space. Saka falling away. Just picks out that far corner. Oh, yeah, he's feeling good. He's feeling good. Now he's on 2, and it's halftime. All right, everybody settle down. Everybody talk. Everybody's having a good time. Tuchel talking to Mbappe. Take it away, my friend.
And what I wouldn't have given to have heard what was said at halftime, because it was a completely different France that came out in the second half. And we see straight away the intent, incredible pass, and then that side foot finish. Just so cool, so clinical. Gets them back in the game, gets the momentum going again. And then again, England, they start to sit back again. We were calling for Big Dan Burn. And then you see this pass here, inside. And again, incredible finish. Such good anticipation. And then, for me, one of the goals of the tournament coming up here. Just watch this assist here from Schmeichel Lalas. Steps over it, outside the foot, one touch, boom, goal. Such a good finish from that man again. And then we keep going. You see again, step over. Just incredible control. And you see now they're in the ascendancy. Then we get to this. This is probably maybe even overplaying, but what incredible football this is. You see the passing, the intricate passing, and how has he missed? This is to bring them back level. This could have been the game changer.
And it's all France. And, you know, all of a sudden, England decides to attack. And when you attack, sometimes you get some rewards. Ted Spence got taken down by Malagos. See, Jude Bellingham, he was supposed to take the penalty, but he gives it to Saka so he can get his World Cup hat-trick. What a performance by Saka, by the way. And then you think it is all over. 7 minutes added on wasn't over. Upamecano thinks, I'm going to get this ball and I'm going to pass it out to Dembele. What a pass that was. But you still have to finish it. And Dembele does that. And you think France will be coming back. But Jude Bellingham, he's come out. He's been on for the pitch for 10 minutes. He played a very, very big part in what happened in those, 13, 15 minutes he was on. And you're thinking, what Mbappe can do, I can do the same. That was a very, very good goal for him to round out a fantastic World Cup he's had personally. And for England, they came out of this with, you know, a lot of credit in the end. And so did France.
6-4 the final score. You just saw Jude Bellingham there. 7 goals at this World Cup for him. And by the way, Schmeichel Lalas now with 7 assists, 2 assists today. That's the most on record in a single World Cup. He surpassed Pelé, who had 6 assists in 1970. We are breaking records all over the place. Let's hear from the man today who got a hat-trick. Here's Bukayo Saka.
How do you look back on England's tournament as a whole?
Yeah, I would say we built and built across the tournament. We had some amazing results, and in the end we fell short against Argentina, and yeah, it hurts a lot to all of us, and I'm sure it's the same for the fans back home, but we have to hold our head high and move on and focus on the next one. That's what I said.
Finally, yesterday John Stones said he doesn't like the noise around the manager. How do you feel about that?
I think it's just part of the game. You know, when you lose, there's always going to be noise. When you win, there's going to be noise. It's how you react to it, how you use it as fuel. And yeah, today we finished strong, so that's all we could really do, and we done it.
With the England team, there is always noise. Alexi, what do you think the narrative will be now after maybe a few days, although I'm not sure the newspapers give anyone a few minutes, let alone a few days, because what do you think they'll look back on this World Cup as?
A missed opportunity. I think it's still going to be, it was in the palm of your hand and you let it get away. In the moment that Thomas Tuchel was hired to get you beyond, they weren't able to do that. And you know, this is not going to solve everything, this result. It'll be a nice result, and I think rightfully so, that it should be celebrated. But in totality, I think England did some wonderful things. I mean, we're looking at Jude Bellingham, and that performance in this World Cup is something to behold and something to cherish and something to celebrate. So there were wonderful moments, including down in Mexico City, that game against Mexico, that you really felt was historic and they pushed on from. But ultimately, the game that they needed to win, and more importantly, I think English fans recognize could have been won, wasn't one, and this doesn't change that.
Peter, I think since the game against Argentina, since the semi-final, the narrative towards the players has been pretty positive. I think the England fans are still very much on board with the players. To the manager, as was talked about there in that interview, to Bukayo Saka, pretty negative. Do you think that this will change it at all now that England have had their best finish at a World Cup since 1966?
I think it's all of it silly, because I think people should take a step back and actually look what England has done. I've always looked at England as a team being close to being great, but there's always something missing. There's always been a little thing that you go, no, but they don't have that. The other teams, they do, and that's a competition. This time, there is so much promise in this team. The players they have, the individuals they've got, and obviously we can criticize the manager from now on until the cows comes in. It's not going to change much. Yes, I think he made one mistake. He didn't play Saka at all in that semi-final against Argentina for whatever reason. I do not know. But that's not going to define what they've done in this World Cup. They've played well. They've played really well. I was in Mexico for that game. To go there in those circumstances, there's a lot of things happened around that game. You know, it was moved to a 12 o'clock kickoff, and then it was moved back. There's a lot of confusing things that not necessarily going to play hard on your mind, but it's going to play on your mind as a coach, as a player. And then you get there, and it's raining. It gets postponed for 1 hour. And then the altitude, and then, of course, the support that Mexico they had there. And for England to come through in that game with 10 men, that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, they go on to play Norway and played really well against Norway. Difficult circumstances this time in Miami. And we've just seen a game from Miami, how crazy it can go. And I've been there twice during this World Cup. And it's grueling. It's the humidity. It's difficult to play there. They did so well. And then you're up against the world champions. And what do you expect? That you can just go in there and win it? I mean, we talk about the narrative. The narrative today is that Jude Bellingham, he's apparently set something to the sky. That's now the big story in England. And all of a sudden, they're questioning Jordan Pickford in the goal and kind of not put the blame on him. And I think that is a bit silly. They should look at it as a big picture. They've done well.
Okay, that's an interesting take for sure, Casper. Do you think that the blame on the manager for some decisions is the right way to look at this or the wrong way?
Listen, everybody's going to make mistakes, and managers will make mistakes. Obviously, when they went to the back five playing 10 men in Mexico, it was seen as a genius kind of thing, and he made a decision. It didn't work, which obviously means that there's going to be criticism. But to these guys' point, I think for England to progress, they need to change. The whole country needs to change the mentality and how you're looking at this. This has been, yes, you didn't win the World Cup. This has been a huge success. You've seen what it's done for the country. It's galvanized people. It's given people hope. People have had street parties. They've been up all night. Pubs have been open. Kids have stayed off school. All those things. It's done exactly what it needed to do. Okay, bronze is coming home this time, But if you, instead of looking at all the negatives, you have to look at the positives as well. And there are so many positives. This team is going to progress because they have youth, they have experience, and whether people agree or not, they have a very good manager. So I think the most important thing to do now is to take stock and don't become emotional in their reactions to things. Be calm and collected about things and be reflective. And then, there's always things that you can do better. But the problem will be now, you have a great performance like today, and people are going to say, Saka, why didn't he play? Instead of thinking about this, then I think you have to look at what a good performance today was, and you take it as your best result since 1966, and you build on that for the next major tournament.
Rebecca, what do you think?
Bronze medals going around the necks of the England players. I think, as I said, I think the players are very, very popular with the England fans,
but
and there are a few questions.
Being calm and collected is not something that England fans or media or anybody
and not particularly positive either. I don't think England fans necessarily are either. I think, to be honest, final word, the England fans' perspective is often that it's the way they went out of the World Cup, not that they went out of the World Cup. No expectation from England fans.